day, right? So for developing the game, you should also be the one should have that corner as a gamer to develop a good and crazy game which go viral in instant, just like Valorant and PUBG did, right? And then let's move to the second slide. It's what growth of gaming industry in India. Okay, so if we see in the past few years, gaming industry has been booming like hell. We have not seen the like growth of gaming industry in the past few years, which was never seen in the last decade almost. In 2019, we gaming industry in India was around 62 billion Indian INR. Can you expect this? And according to some reports, it is expected that it can go up to 250 billion by 2024. So let's hope. And like there are many major investments from the great investors coming, like gaming companies. There it is, Nazara and Krafton are doing uh, good number of investments in the small gaming industry. If we can say, then what's the if we look, Krafton has invested in Nordwind Gaming, in Loco, has the investors. Okay, what jobs are available in gaming industry? Well, if you can see as a backend, I will explain this whole scenario that what jobs are available in the gaming industry in the next session. Because for this session we will talking about what and how does esports and gaming industry work together. But for now, I can just give some overview. Like you can work as a graphic designer, you can work as a content writer, a developer, any sort of, even see, if you look big esports T1 esports team like Fnatic, it's all of kind of a esports corporate world, right? They need marketing team, they need financial department. It's appropriate like a corporate world. You need each and every department to be strong enough so that. But in this esports, you that is like if you are having a keen interest in gaming, so you can get a perspective over like that high priority chances that you can get a job as a gamer, and plus the field you want. Like if I'm a gamer, well, I can talk about myself. That is, I'm a gamer, but I love doing graphic designing. So what I did, what it helped me is like being a gamer, it helped me to design graphics at a decent good level, so which helped me to get my career at a certain heights. And or well, obviously if you are reaching at a certain height, that doesn't mean you will stop working or stop growing, because you can't come at a saturation point. Because if you want to grow, you have to develop every skill and polish the skills you have. Because if you are not doing that, there might be chances that you are getting saturated, and at some time you might get uh, out from the industry in any cause which you not want, right? If you are entering in any industry, not about gaming industry, if you are going in any of your fields, you what you want to do there, you have to make the career out of it. For making career, you have to work hard, you have to show your skills, and for showing skills you need to polish it every day. Because the saturation point is not a good thing which we look for, right? Obviously industry is not looking for the saturation points, because we can say, see many investors, what do? They just look at the small in esports organization. Like if they see the caliber, they see the growth, they invest in it. Many esports players who get saturated, they are not being the part of the team anymore, and they are out of the scenes. As we say, it's same like if you are not polishing yourself, you are out of the industry, and that's your problem because you are not polishing your skills. And we can say that as you were talking about the jobs available in the industry, you can see by 2022 there might be the chances that we can get 40,000 job openings in the gaming and esports industry only in the Indian scene. Like we are not talking about the scenes like outer than the Indian scenes, but if you talk about India, there are 40,000 jobs can get in 2022. Well, if you are good enough, you can get the job offers from out of the India. Like you can get the job offers to directly join the headquarters of the developers or any kind of esports organization. And it's up to you and your skills, how much you work hard for your skills, and how much you polish yourself. So will jobs mainly be for developers or for other areas? Well, if we talk, there is jobs are available for each and every department. If we see, even as a developer, even as a designer, even as a content creator, financial department, marketing, HR, PR, every sort of thing is needed in the esports industry to grow. Because if we talk about organizations, they need the people who help to grow their business. Because esports organizations, why do they come into the esports scenes? To make money, and to make money you have to follow the steps of the corporate world, which they follow. Like you need marketing, you need management proper, you need admins, you need HRs. Everything you need regarding the corporate is same in the esports scenario. For funding you need financial department, then there are CEOs, CMOs, every, like, if you talk about it, I will give a brief introduction of job openings in the esports and the gaming industry, which is present in the present time. Not I'm talking about the future. It's about the present time we are talking. So these job openings are getting better and better. That's why it's not that tough to get a job in the gaming and esports industry. You have to just be yourself and be confident with your skills and give your best, and you are the part of the industry as well. So now let's go further. What do you think will be the next big game like PUBG or Valorant? Well, to beat the game in India, if we talk about is, there are only two games which made the solid impression or impact in the esports scenario in Indian scene was are PUBG and Valorant. But if we can say, like what I have observed as a working in the esports industry from past 3 years, there are many games which can g- go to a great level but can't beat the level of PUBG and Valorant which have set. I think in mobile industry we can talk about the Free Fire as the great impact, because Free Fire is the highest watching of the tournaments. If we can say during the PUBG ban, Free Fire tournaments got a great watching numbers. They got the great downloads. So that's the impact. Like games are dependent on the each and other. Like Call of Duty, if we can say, in Indian scene is bit struggling, and like they're trying good, but they're not matching the level of PUBG. But yeah, obviously they are not far behind from the PUBG to beat them. So let's see what developers have planned for Indian scenario, because it's the main part is the interest of the developers in the scene. What are they thinking about the game? So for now, if we can say, see, Valorant is a FPS game. PUBG is a battleground game. Okay, open battleground game. But in Indian scene, we have seen that not any MOBA game has been the that mark which we can say that okay, this game is great to and treat to watch. Is there any scope in the field of gaming? Kirtana, yes, it's a obviously there are many scope in the field of gaming. You can try, like if you can see, you can observe regarding everything in your surroundings. If you go on Twitch, there are many streamers. They are not professional players. They are just content creators. They are streaming on their Twitch channels, YouTube, or whatever the platform they get contract. But if you are good enough as a content creator, esports organizations hire you as a content creator just to promote, to be the face of their organization. Why? Because they want the numbers to attract the sponsors, the investors, and the numbers which the organization is looking, they can't be attained from the esports players, because the players are not the live stream. They don't do live streams on daily basis because they have practice sessions. They do practice with their team. They have scrims to play. Then that's not easy for an esports player to work as a content creator and be a esports player. Well, it's very hard, and there are only few players who have balanced it very good and making both, like doing good in as a content creator and in a esports industry as well. But it is very margin of error. If you do some margin of error, there might be the chances the performance in the any of the field can deflect. Okay, so this is the thing. You can get many offers as a kind by playing only games. But if you think like you have to do work, then there are many things which I have like pointed out in the previous sometime before, and we'll be giving a brief introduction of the job openings and how can you get a job in the gaming and esports industry just by uh, in the next session, which will be on 28th March at the same time 5 p.m. So moving ahead, let's talk about the types of gaming and esports today, right? Well, there are three types of gaming, right? You what three types means? Very first, when you play games on mobile, that is called mobile gaming. When you play games on PC, that is called PC gaming. And when you play games on console, it is called console gaming. But for now, it's not that much easy to say that this game is only particular for PC or only for console or only for mobile. Well, some games are only like impact at the mobile only. They are not good at PC because and developers are not showing interest in the. It's not easy to develop a PC game, mobile game, right? But it is easy to develop PC game, a mobile game from a PC game, right? But not that easy to make PC game from mobile game, right? So now, if you look mobile gaming and esports, we talk about BGMI, Free Fire. Free Fire don't have PC version, but PUBG have. BGMI don't have the PC version, but PUBG had the PC version. Then they launched their mobile version. Then they got the boom, which was never seen in the Indian industry before, right? When we go for the PC games and esports, while in the present scenario we can see Valorant, the official tournaments are going. Our Indian teams are fighting there for the to represent the India at the next level, at the greater level of the competition. And for if you see global esports got eliminated from the tournament, but Velocity esports are still there with our hopes and players that they might do best in their future matches, and hope that we can see our Indian flag rising high in the Valorant international tournament. Then we go for the console gaming. Well, if you see, the most popular console game is FIFA. In the like, if you see in the past, even in the past, in the present, I think none other than FIFA game has been that impactful, which FIFA is impacted, right? You might agree with me because if we see, even if we go in the gaming parlor, what we prefer to play is FIFA. Well, there are some games which are launched, but if you see, those games are compatible at PC. Now those games are already compatible. You can play on PC, you can play in console, and the developers are working now to play make it at the mobile version, right? If you see, there are like Apex Legends came as a PC version, but now Apex Legend and Valorant and many games like Valorant and Apex Legends are trying to there are news that they are making their mobile versions. Apex Legends have launched their beta versions, and I think the Apex Legends main version is also launched, and players are playing it. Well, now let's move to the second slide. This was the overview. Like, esports industry is divided in the three parts, like mobile gaming, PC gaming, and console. These are the three esports scenes which we can see in the scenario. Then relation of gaming and esport, like gaming and esports. If you see, okay, okay, so I already read it. Sorry for that. What do you think? Okay, I've read those questions. Sorry, I'm my bad. Gaming and esports are quite similar. See, as a gamer, what we do, we play games, we get interest, we take it to the new level. Like, see, if you're any of you is playing game and he's a good player, he's developing his skills day by day. Then he gets a good team. What he thinks, let's give a shot in the tournaments. You get the results, like you are winning, you are getting the impact which you want. Then what you do, you work hard to take it to the next level. That's slowly a gamer gets converted into the esports player, knowingly, unknowingly. Well, there are the chances, obviously, you knowingly only, because if you don't have any intention, any dedication to words to take a game at the high level or to become a professional player, you can't become a professional player just like nothing. You have to work and you have to pay the prices for it. Well, gaming industry is for entertainment, and there are men. See, okay, let's see. The PUBG game launched. They saw the craze. Crafton saw the craze. Like, audience is loving the game. Like, there are content creators getting millions of subscribers just by streaming PUBG, getting crazy number of watching. Then they saw the audience loving it playing and watching it, so they came up with their first official tournament in the Indian scenario. How to get sponsor for esports tournament in India for the org. Okay, how to get sponsor for the esports scenario? Bhaskar's very first thing, very first thing, there should be the things that for which, if you are looking for the sponsors, you have to target the right sponsor according to the industry. If you are hosting tournaments of PC gaming. So you have to make sure that you are targeting the sponsors of PC gaming at the first, because you can't go to the small, like if you are a small organizer, you can't go to the any of the industry gaming sponsor and just go and see, this is my roadmap, I am planning such tournament which this much of prize pool, I want sponsorship. No, for that you have to show some previous tournaments, how much watching you got, how what is the reach of your tournament, what type of teams, how many T1 teams will be participating, how many T2 teams, how many T3 teams. Well, the number of teams also impact the sponsorship, because greater the number of sponsors teams, the greater the number of matches, there will be the chances of the live streams being for the longer duration. Then there might be the chances that if the T1 teams are more, the sponsorships, it's easy to get the sponsorships. If you look in the past few years, like if you go for the esports club, if you go for the Sky Sports, what are they doing? They are hosting PC tournaments at the great pace. And what are they doing? They are always targeting the PC gaming sponsors. Like they are targeting Intel, they are targeting their brands which are more into the esports of the or gaming industry of the PC scene. They make components, they make accessories, they make monitors, they make everything regarding the PC gaming which we need. HyperX, Logitech. There are some brands, Nvidia. If we talk about AMD, Intel, there are Crosshair. So you can see the brands. If you are hosting a tournament of Valorant, then you can go for Intel, you can go for AMD. These are some sponsors. You can go for Logitech. These are some sponsors. These are some brands you can look for to host tournament. But you have to make sure that the number of teams and your roadmap is very impactful, very impressive to impress those sponsors, to make sure that, see, even if you're hosting your first tournament, but you should have a strong team, because they should uh, see, sponsors will not give you money for nothing. They are looking sponsors. They will be paying you for the number of watching you can get out of it. So it doesn't matter it's your first tournament or your last tournament. If you are doing great, then you are good to go with the any brand of the sponsor. Even if your roadmap is so much impactful, you have great number of teams, your roadmap is very impressive, then you can get some big game changers in the industry. Just like if we see Sky Sports came in the scenario in 2019, and now they are one of the best esports organizers in the Indian scenario, like partnershiping with Flipkart, Monster, Intel, AMD, Logitech, Router they signed with. How to contact with big companies for hosting a tournament? Bhaskar, see, if you are planning to do such things, very first, there is a very formal way to reach any brand. Very first thing which I think very convenient is the LinkedIn. Okay, you can try LinkedIn. You can try shots to the official emails of the brands with your proper roadmap and detailed view of your tournament, what you are planning and how can you be working on it, right? So this is the thing how you can work on it. And as we said, the games, like let's get to the topic of esports and gaming. I hope I answered your question. Thank you. Welcome, Bhaskar. So let's move on further, and let's start. As I was telling that, if the craze of game is good, what developers plan is they come up with their professional tournaments, official tournaments, and then if the tournament does well according to the expectations, then they come up with a new roadmap. Many tournaments, like PUBG did, they did first tournament called Battleground BGMI, like PUBG Campus, which was hosted in Bangalore. First tournament of PUBG was in Bangalore, hosted offline. So after that tournament, PUBG came up with many tournaments in India, and which gave the boom to the esports scenario. Right? It was the effort of the developers which made them the king of the Indian esports scenario. Like when PUBG got banned, many people thought that esports industry was running just because of PUBG. And but then there comes the Valorant. Valorant also changed the game. Valorant did to the PC gaming what PUBG did to the mobile gaming. But well, I'm well, I'm being a mobile player. I will love to see some mobile games coming up and stepping ahead of these games. Well, obviously not stepping, but if they can walk side by side with them, I would be more happy to watch those, and that would be treat to watch for the eyes of the mobile viewers also. Let's go. And now, well, I was mentioning these things like gaming in esports and factors. Now, that's the thing I was telling, that what affects the factors growth of the game. Give me a minute. Let me have some water because I'm speaking from continue from the past few minutes, and then now my throat is. Well, thank you, and sorry for interruption. Well, in summers in Rajasthan, here I'm staying in Jaipur, so here the temperature is very high, and it's very hot here. So you have to stay hydrated so you can maintain the energy level. And obviously, being a caster, it works little different for me also. But I have to constantly. I have a small org. How I invite team and teams in a tournament. Okay, so let me see. If you are having a small tournament, if you want to invite T1 teams, see what T1 teams do is you have to talk to the manager, okay, of the team. Right, every esports organization have a manager for their particular team. We can say esports manager who manages the things like which team the team will be playing which tournament, right? So if you have to uh, go to the admin and explain your tournament, like I'm hosting a such tournament at this price pool, and I will be providing an invited slot direct to the finals, because see they are T1 teams, they won't be playing qualifiers of obviously as a small or they, well, obviously being a T1 team you have to give them some privilege, because of them you will be getting the numbers which you are looking for, and because of them you might get the sponsors you want. So you have to give them some privilege of being directly invited to the finals, or if you think that finals is too much, then you can give them a invitation. If you have see if you are trying many number of T1 teams, so you can go for a direct invitation for semi-finals to get some extra team and some underdogs to show their skills with the T1 teams, and from there your tournament might get the things boosted up. So very first thing, you can't just go to the any member of the team. See, many organization do this thing wrong. They take this as a wrong thing. What is, they go to the team players, they go to the team IGL, but well, team IGLs are not the main ones who decide the team will be playing or not. Obviously they have the role, like team will be playing or not, but before that the decision, the mutual decision is team will be playing or not. You have to take the permission from the esports admin of the team. Like if suppose there is a new T1 team which just got the badge of the T1 and they don't have any sponsors, they are not associated with any organization, they don't have any backend team, then you can obviously go with the IGL, not to the players. Obviously, you have to go with the IGL only. You are not going with any kind of player, any third party, or just like you are trying to make an approach using your approach influence there. It won't work in any case, because there might be the thing that if like recently they just got the tag of the T1 team, then there are many organizers who will be approaching them. There might be macro and micro organizers in the list, so you have to make sure that your tournament is impactful, and that tournament should click in the head of the esports admin and as well as IGL. So that will work and help you to get the invitations done for the T1 teams in your tournaments. Or well, this will work in the any game. It's not about PUBG or Valorant only. You can go with the any game, either it's Free Fire, Call of Duty, or Pokemon Unite, any game. Okay. So like as I was mentioning the things that creators developers say, okay, does AMD gives to a host invitation tournament for T1 lobby in Velo, and अब 2 साल से esports tournament करवा रहा है. Well, so can I switch to PC to esports? Yeah, you can switch to PC tournaments. Obviously, like see if you talk about, it's not about if you are esports organizations. As an organizer, I will suggest you to be a flexible enough to host PC as well as mobile tournaments, because if you stick to only PC or only mobile, there are the chances that you might not get the number of audience, the variety. See, if we talk about the esports club, Sky Esports Nordwin, why they succeeded so much? Because they were flexible enough to host any kind of game. If it's console, it's PC, it's mobile. So if you are flexible enough to host any kind of game, then you are successful. It doesn't matter. You have to just make sure your tournaments are consistent enough. See, what I see, what Sky Sports done, TEC have done, they have signed a long-term contract, not a contract for the short term, like go for the sponsorship at the only tournaments basis. You can go for a duration sponsorship. Like Sky Sports have signed a long-term sponsorship with Router for their media partner, right? They will be streaming their broadcast rights there. So they will be streaming their tournaments there. So they can get the money from Router. Up now, whichever tournament they do, now it's up to Sky Sports whether they are hosting PC games, whether they are hosting mobile games. So that's the benefit of being flexible. You can get sponsorship from any brand in spite of hosting any game tournament. So that's the thing. So I would suggest you to make sure that you are going with, like you said, you are making like hosting tournaments from the last 2 years in the esports scenario of mobile. So I would suggest you to stick to that, but you should make sure that you are not like completely going shifting towards the PC scene. Slowly and gradually go towards the PC scenario. How esports org makes money? That's the nice question. I have like, see, esports org. There are two types of esports org. Very first, there are organizers, and the second one is the brands which makes players to play under their brand name. If we talk about Fnatic, TSM, then there are Sentinels. In Indian scenario, we can say SA2L, Godlike. So these are esports organizations. While we talk about esports club, Sky Sports, and Nordwind Gaming, they are esports organizers. So they both have different functions. They have different types of ROIs in the back end. Like if we talk about esports organizations, they many people think that their major income is from tournaments, but it's not true. The major income of the esports organizations are from their content creators, because they are the face of that. They bring the sponsors, they bring the brands to the board, which provide the money, and obviously the money is the game changer. So if you have the money, you get the best players onboarded. When you get the best players onboarded, you shine high in the sky with your any game, then you can get the boom. If you talk about Phase did TSM, they have good players, they perform well, they get their name done, and they see the esport organizations try to sign the great creators, no matter how big or how small you are. If you are impactful, you can get the money from them, right? See, as I was telling that developers' interest also makes the impact. If see, Legends or MOBA game in Indian scenario was doing good, but Moonton was not showing interest in the Indian scene. Big, like I don't have any reason. They didn't mention any sort of the reason which why they were not interested in the Indian scenario. They hosted many official tournaments in the Indonesian scene, Philippine scene, Singapore scene, but they never showed the interest in the Indian scenario. And while they were planning, well, I was the part of the team who was planning to bring in Mobile Legends esports as the official tournaments in the Indian scene. The game got banned. Hard luck for the MOBA players, especially to the Mobile Legends players. Uh, like there were many good players who could have made the great career in the Mobile Legends, but things change. Everything is not the same as we look up for it. We had different plans, but God had some different plans for us. And today, now the see when Mobile Legends got banned, there was a time AOV also got banned, but AOV did uh, they've got to know that if they want, they saw the opportunity that there is no such MOBA game who can conquer the gaming industry in the Indian esports. So they came up again back with changing the name, following rules and regulations of the Indian government. Now they renamed themselves as the Clash of Titans for the Indian version, just like PUBG did BGMI, AOV did Clash of Titans, and I see the potential in that game to make a good response and a good impact as a MOBA game in the Indian esports industry. I'm just waiting for their tournaments to come up with the things and go on. Then let's move to the next slide. Okay, as I was saying, now these were the things for the today's session. We'll be taking. I will be now. You can ask your questions out there. I will be answering your questions. Then we can end the session if I have answers. If you think I've satisfied your answers. Okay, future of esports org in India. I am a BCA student. Can we take esports org as my future? Well, obviously you can take. See, you can make future in Indian esports scenario. Obviously, as I was telling in the uh, before that, there are the Indian esports scenario can make up to the mark of the $250 billion by 224. So you have a shot. You have to make sure you are consistent enough. You have a solid team. The main thing the Indian esports, like if you want to grow, you should have a solid team. Well, production quality should be top notch. As a esports organizer, your casters should you have a good casters deck. You should have a good graphic designing team, which will help you to design some great creatives to attract the audience. Like if you talk about the creatives, obviously Sky Sports is the leading. I think Sky Sports are one of the best creatives in the Indian esports scenario. The way they represent their tournaments by the creatives, I think that's the next level, and you should have those. Not up to that level, obviously they have the good funding, so they can hire some best professionals, but you can hire intermediates and give some salary to them or whatever you can provide to them, and if a mutual contract with them and hire. So how to get into game development? Well, game development, it's obviously you have to learn coding. Then there are some courses which teaches you the game development. There is either you develop game or you develop characters. See, if you are a creator, like if I talk about creative department, as a graphic designer, you can go into the Blender. As a you can design 3D characters of the game, or you can stick to the basic poster designings or poster like announcement posters and all. Then you can go for the video editing. Which company gives sponsorship for Velo T1 tournament for the lobby? Well, as I mentioned before, there are many PC brands you can go for. You can go for Logitech, you can go for AMD, Intel, or Crucial New Game, or MSI. There are many brands. If you look up, you have to just do some research. But as I mentioned, your tournament should be impactful. Your roadmap should be a great roadmap because see, sponsors want a good numbers. You have to show them how much viewers you can get, how much T1 teams will be playing, how many T1 teams will be playing, how many viewers you can get, what will be the reach of the tournament, right? The posters reach, the streams reach, viewers aside, peak viewers, concurrent viewer, total number of viewers till the end of the tournament, and the total number of reach till the end of the tournaments. All is the number game you can provide to the sponsors. If they get satisfied, boom, you get the prize, sponsorship. Now, see, it's not like that you are just planning a tournament. Like today, you are planning it, you can host after 7 days. No, you have to plan it at least 15 to 20 days before, or I would suggest 1 month. If you are planning your first Valorant tournament, I would suggest you to make sure you are planning it strong because first impression is the last impression. So you make sure that you are doing it the best way. Well, see, sponsors not only see the number of viewers you can get, sponsors see the production quality because sponsors brand will be impactful. See, if you are not having the proper production quality, not having the proper casters, then there might be the chances that you can get a sponsorship for the first time, but in the future there might be the chances 50-50 that you might get the sponsorship again or not. So before going, they like before giving the sponsorship to you, they what we will do, so do they will do the research of your organization. They will have a look at your previous tournaments. If they see that you have satisfied them, then obviously they will be going with you, giving sponsorship to you, and obviously you can go with the tournaments, right? And if you are planning such teams, see, very first you should know which are the T1 teams in the Indian esports scenario, or you are trying, or are you planning to make it only for the Indian scene, or you are planning with the multinational like Tri Nation or Five Nation, just like Sky Sports and TEC does. TEC is doing a gauntlet season, 5 season tournament of good number of a good prize pool. They have AMD as a sponsor, so you can see you have to study the roadmap of the other esports organizers, take the idea, mix the idea, and you can pitch off it. It's not necessary that you should always have a unique idea. It's the impact should be great. Obviously, like what, how can you differentiate organizing a tournament? Why should they sponsor you only? Why can't other get sponsorship? Can't other host tournaments? But it needs different stuffs. And while you are hosting professional tournaments, or we can say official tournaments, especially for the T1 teams, there is the esports professional esports lobby, which is given for the, or we can say tournament lobby, given by the developers to the organizers for the official tournaments only. For the rest of the like third party tournaments, you have to use the custom room. Like if you talk, Valorant provides free custom rooms, so you don't have to worry about the custom rooms, because in PUBG and Free Fire, you have to pay for the custom rooms. So there is the thing that you have to look, you have to set a budget for the custom rooms only. But in the PC, if you see, there is a slight advantage that the custom room is free, so you can make a number of custom rooms. So you can make a proper qualifier rounds. Then you can get a T1 teams invited directly to the semifinals and finals. Then you have underdogs from the tournaments which got creamed up from the qualification round. Sir, can I get your LinkedIn? Yeah, sure. You can contact me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is, wait, let me. My LinkedIn name is Mahesh Chaudhary. You can get me there on LinkedIn. I will type my name, so you can get me, get a contact of mine. I hope I'm answering and my answers are satisfying you up at a pretty good level. Yeah, thank you. So if there are any further questions, then we can, if yes, then we can discuss on it. And if no, then we will be discussing further more questions and further more topics about the career options in the esports scenario and gaming industry. How can you make career out of it, and what are the career options you can opt for, and how can you make out of it, and what are the things which I did and you can do for it, right? So waiting for your questions. If the questions are done, then we can end the session today. Here itself will be happy to see you back on the Monday, which is on 28th of March at the 5 p.m. on the next session. Well, it was my first session, so if I did something errors, so please forgive me, because I'm giving a first session as a mentor. Yeah, see, you get the one more thing, like that's the thing. One more option to just directly redirect to my LinkedIn profile. Uh, Team creator is doing well, and obviously thank huge special mention to the Creators Club for having me on board and giving me the opportunity to showcase my skills, or give some of the esports knowledge or knowledge regarding esports and gaming which I learned in the past few years of my career in the esports scenario. So I think the questions are done for enough now. And can we end the session? Or if there are questions, you can obviously you can go for it. We'll be waiting for your response. So I guess it's all over for today, and we'll see you at 28th. Next session will be on 20th March at the same time, 5 p.m. So do join again. We'll be talking more about career options, as I was talking earlier, and many of you have asked the questions regarding the career options and job roles. You can go for it. Go in the esports scenario, and thank you for the today's session and joining me here. And obviously, a special thanks to Creators Club for having me and giving me the opportunity to speak up, coming here and sharing the some key factors and points to the upcoming players in the esports industry. So it was a great session, guys. Bye, and thank you for have a great day.